that we have who have experience, who's have personal development and mindset. He's used to be a Bob Proctor consultant. I think it's a signal. Can someone chat in the chat box? Can you hear me?
We can hear you good, Sibyl.
Oh, okay. So Bob Proctor is the top in the world person, the mindset, coaching, personal development, law of attraction, and he was featuring in the movie called The Secret. I will recommend it to everyone. Watch this movie. It's a life-changing movie. Information, if you understand, you can completely change your life 360 degrees. So thank you for joining again, everyone, for this amazing call. And I want to bring our amazing team member, Rose Garcia. Can you hear me, Rose?
Yeah, I can hear you good. I'm just letting more people in. I'm waiting a few more minutes so we can get more people in the call. Remember to, guys that are listening, remember to, let me mute this person. Remember to mute, not only mute, but also to take notes, guys, to take notes. One of the things that when I joined as a consultant, I started working with Bob Proctor. When you're paying $15,000 to go to an event, you're going to take notes, right? But there was a time where I wasn't taking notes. And what we see right now is what's going on in the world. It's literally life-changing. People, they were thinking, yeah, this is just a phase, right? And we're not going back to our normal way of life anytime soon. Yesterday, I was getting something to eat, and the person that was giving me my food, they didn't want to get close to me. So we have to understand that we're going through these changes, and we have to be beautifully equipped to a world that no longer exists. So what does that mean? That means that the world that we thought we knew, our normal way of life, our routine has basically been stripped away from us, right? And you get to see that and you're like, okay, well, what am I going to do now? People that own restaurants, I'm sure Sibyl is kind of familiar with what I'm talking about. People that own businesses are beautifully equipped to a world that no longer exists. So take notes, guys, because when I sat down, you know, with Bob Proctor, I took notes. And actually, let me put the camera on me so you guys can see what I'm talking about. These are notes, okay? And I took these notes because I want the best for myself. I have a son, right? And my son, he just turned 12, September 12th this year. And it was what we call a golden birthday, right? So I took notes and I want to share these notes with you guys. So I'm not going to start just yet because I have to mute more people and I'm getting familiar with how to use Zoom. I still don't know how to use it completely, but I am recording this call because we have people in California that want to listen to this material. They want to understand how this material works, okay? So I'm going to just wait a couple more minutes and then we're gonna get started and then we'll talk about the mind and your marvelous mind and how it works, okay? So let's just wait like one more minute, maybe like 30 seconds, and then we'll just get going.
Can we have some fire emojis, please, for this person who will gonna share the mind-blowing information?
Yeah, I'm just looking at this right here. Oh my God, I just got some crazy stuff to share. And I actually shared this yesterday, but I want to share with you guys how to use this information that I got from Bob Proctor. So let's get going. Let's start, guys, because I don't want people to get to lose this drive, to lose this motivation. And I move a lot. I move a lot around. Why? Because you have to stretch. Okay, so you have to make yourself as comfortable as possible, especially if you're explaining something to somebody else. Okay, so I like when I would do mortgages, I would like walking around with the microphone. So I'm going to be moving around. So don't get freaked out, guys. I know a lot of people are stuck in front and they're just like, you know, so I like giving myself some space and try to get as creative as possible, especially when we're sharing this information. Okay, so we just have a couple more people that are jumping on the call. I want to welcome everyone. So let's just start the call. I want to give it up to Sabil. Let's put some 777s for Sabil for being dedicated to this business and wanting the best for herself and for her family. So let's give it up to Sabil and put some 777s and some fire emojis for not giving up and for continually
Thank you, Ross.
reaching
Thank
out
you.
to her team and even to myself to hey Ross, you know, why don't you call me? I still remember that. Why don't you give me a call? And you know, I want you to share your knowledge with everyone, and we're doing that. So I want to give it up to her, and I want to start on this topic of our mind, right? So just a little bit about me. um, I'm from Chicago. I was born in Houston, Texas. I came from a family of construction. My dad was born in a farm, and he worked construction because, you know, that's what they told him. Like, hey, this is what you're gonna do, right? So all he ever knew was, we just got a couple more people just joined. So I want to welcome you guys. But all he ever knew was this pouring construction, pouring cement on the floor. I remember going to Houston, Texas, looking at one of the properties where he put cement, and we went to see the cement that he laid 30 years ago. The cement was still there. I was like, wow, it's an area called Houston Heights. The area actually, it went up in price. It wasn't like a really hot community, but then real estate started booming in that area. So the most my dad has ever earned was $75,000 a year. So he worked construction. So as I was growing up, I was just going to school and just living a regular life. I remember going to sleep at night and thinking what I could become when I was in high school, what I wanted to do. I used to skateboard. I used to like watching wrestling. I used to like playing basketball. I was on the basketball team in high school. And I wanted to become something, but I didn't really know what I wanted to become. So what I did want to become is I wanted to become rich. Why? Because I wanted to know how it would feel to be wealthy. So if somebody would have told me, you know, you're gonna be you know, wealthy and you're gonna be a doctor, I would say, well, as long as I could be wealthy, I'll do whatever I can. But if I couldn't perform surgery the right way, then I could really hurt somebody. So when it comes to money, you have to understand that you have to do what makes you feel good. If you're not a people person, then just get out of the call. Why? Because we're in the people business. If you want to make millions of dollars, help someone get to the next level, and in return, you're going to make money, right? But if you don't like talking, if you don't like networking, if you don't like participating in this business, then there is no future for you. You're just wasting time. So I'm going to like constantly mute people as we're on this call. And so, you know, if you don't like to do these things, then you're really shooting yourself in the foot, because you have to understand that your thoughts are very powerful, and this business we're in is very powerful, and I'll explain to you why. So I'm gonna let another person in and make sure I mute him. And the reason why is because in this business, if the economy goes down, you can still make money, but you have to educate yourself and you have to educate your team. In this business, if the economy goes up, then you can still make money, but you have to educate yourself and you have to educate your team. Okay, so that is very important. Okay, and you have to understand that when you're living as the 1%, you know, people that are out here working, 9 times out of 10, people are told you need to go get a job, you need to get ahead, right? You need to go work in this business. So you go get the regular job because you wanted to make a lot of money. When I was in college, I dropped out because I wanted to learn how to do mortgages. So I went to go do mortgages and I did it because of the money. Then I really started to like it because I started dealing with people. I started sitting in front of people and talking to people. So I started liking her. I remember having a nice watch and telling the client, how much do you make a year? Like, oh, I make, 50,000. Okay, well, you qualify for a $250,000 house. Like, okay, we're going to get you the house. And, it's just crazy that appearances mean so much to people, especially when you're dealing with a lot of money. If you're dealing with billions, like Sandy Gallagher, the CEO of Procter Gallagher, she deals with like billions in mergers. And the reason that I got into the mortgage industry is because I wanted to make a lot of money, but I didn't know if that was something that I would like to do. But what I did know is that I did like to deal with people. I did like to, talk and do business with people. So you might have came into this business by mistake, okay? And then you realize like, okay, by mistake, I have to talk to people to make $1 million. So I don't like talking to people, but then you're like, well, why would I go back to working a regular job and I don't talk to people? So a lot of people want to come into this business for the money, but a lot of people want to come into this business not just for the money, but also to better themselves, personal growth and development. So because, you know, you want to grow and you want to stretch yourself, you want to understand that you're doing things because of what other people are doing. Okay, that's 97% of people are doing things because other people are doing it. So you're following the sheep. Okay, you're following everyone else, and it's okay, but as long as you're happy doing what you're doing, right? So your thoughts, and just to cover this whole mortgage thing, I ended up liking it because there was a lot of money involved in mortgages. I used to make $7,000-$10,000 every time we would do a closing. That was great. But when the economy went bad, I was left without that income. In this business we're in, people don't know this, but you can work and have a 401k or a pension and lose all your money. And the bank is going to tell you the reason you lost a big chunk of your money is because the economy went down. But when you're in this side of the business, the economy goes down, you're still going to make money in a down economy if you learn how to trade, if you learn the skill. And most importantly, if you build a business where you're helping other people with personal growth and development, with bettering their lives, with maybe they're not comfortable talking to people, but because they want to talk to other people and they see me doing it and they say, man, if he could do it, I could do it. So it creates a win-win for you and for your team. And not only that, but also the power of trading. We have cryptocurrencies. Now, you see what happens with the pound, with the dollar. They keep printing more money and they're telling you to stay home. Well, guess what? I'm home. You guys could see me and I can see thousands of people from the comfort of my home. And I can work in this business helping thousands of people in the comfort of my home. And you could do the same. Bob Proctor told me, carry a calculator on you and reduce the number to the ridiculous. Yesterday, I put a picture of $1 million. How do you reduce $1 million? Okay. The law of compensation states that there has to be a need for what you do, your ability to do it, how good are you at doing what you do, and the difficulty there will be in replacing you. The need for what you do. Is there a need for what we do? Yes, there is, because everybody wants to grow, okay? If you're not creating, you're disintegrating. If you're not growing, you're dying. We're a spirit. We're here for higher expansion, for fuller expression, never for disintegration, never for hard times. So he said, you know, carry a calculator and do this. Have it on you. You have a calculator on your phone, and grab the million and find out how many people you need to be in your business to make $1 million. Okay. So just letting another person onto this call, and, you know, to talk about all this stuff, right? The goal has to be something you really want. The body is the instrument of the mind. The one has to be emotionalized, to be taken to the subconscious mind to manifest your goal. Now, one of my first students was my sister. The most she's ever made was $75,000 a year. We stood together at a law firm. She said, don't quit the job. You're not going to get another job. I said, I'm going to create my job, because me, we all are creators. You can literally create your own economy, and I'm going to show you how to do that. After a while, my sister was laid off. She used to be a manager for a bank. She had quit the law firm where we worked. They fired her for having issues with one of her employees. You know, human resource, they can do that to you. They just literally fired her. She called me. She said, hey, can I sign up clients for you on the weekend? I know that you just started your business, and I want to help you out in whatever way I can. Now, what she didn't know was I was studying Napoleon Hill for 2 years prior before I took action, okay? Now, there was a point where she's like, why do you always carry this book thinking, what is the secret behind this book? Now, Napoleon Hill says, if you keep listening to this information long enough, you're going to find the master key. So what is the master key? What is the master key to success? What is this law of attraction? How can you become wealthy in a down economy? What is this creative faculty that we have? Because in our core, we're perfect. We have God in us. We had God-given abilities, but we weren't shown this in school. In school, they told you put the crayons away, use a pen, start getting A's and B's, and according to how good your grades were, you could get a good job, you could graduate with honors, you could get ahead. Now, when she was working for me, I felt so bad, because there was a point where my brother-in-law, he didn't want her to drive the Mercedes-Benz, because she had just bought a Mercedes-Benz before she got fired. And she had bought that Mercedes-Benz. She got fired, and she started working for me to pay her Mercedes-Benz. And what happened was, I was like, look, I want to help my sister out. So I took her out to lunch, and I told her the secret. Now, a lot of people, when they're shown this information, it's either too easy or too difficult. And I'll tell you why. When I sat with her, I said, how much money do you want to make? Now, I was already making $120,000 a month, but I said, how much do you want to make? She said, I want to make $100,000 a year. And I knew what she really wanted was to make $100,000 a month. So I remember Bob Proctor doing an event, calling it how to turn your yearly salary into your monthly salary. So I said, here's a pen, because I wanted to see if she was ready to change the paradigm. A paradigm is a multitude of habits. The habit of thinking that you know more than other people, right? And I hope you guys are taking notes. So what I told her was, here's a pen. Write down what you really, really want. We don't have to go anywhere. We're self-employed. You work for your brother. You don't have to clock in. You're my sister. Tell me what you really want. Here's a pen. Write it down. She said, I want to make $100,000 a year. I said, would you be interested in making $100,000 a month? She said, hell yeah, I am. I am interested. She got excited. That's why Bob Proctor here, he says that the body is the instrument of the mind. What does your body have? Okay, your body has a nervous system. And the one has to be internalized to be taken over to the subconscious mind. How do you get internalized? You get excited. You get happy with the picture that you're creating from nothing. Okay? And I know that sounds crazy, but when I told her, write down that you're going to make $100,000 a month, the picture is looking to become. The picture in your mind is looking to manifest itself. Just like every picture you see in front of you with your lower faculty, your sight. You see an airplane? Well, guess what? That airplane was created in the Wright brothers' mind. They had an idea to get us off the ground, and they accomplished that idea. When they told their father in the early 1900s, we're going to create an airplane and we're going to make people fly in the sky, their father thought they were lunatics. He's like, these people are possessed by the devil. Oh my God, Satan's here. Send these kids to Bible class. Send them to church. They're possessed. Are we possessed? You see the cell phone? How do we communicate? Through a frequency. So your mind is thinking on a frequency. It's thinking on a certain level of vibration. Vibration is the second law, okay? The first law is the transmutation of energy. Now, science and theology, they disagree on a lot of things, but they come to an unanimous decision on one thing, that nothing's created, nothing's destroyed. So everything you want is already here. The key is it's on a certain frequency. And if you don't feel good because you are in a body and you are a human being, but you have a spirit, if the spirit and the body are not in union, you'll never manifest what you want. So it went into her subconscious mind. She felt it. She had the drive. She had the energy, and she seen her brother do it. William James was a professor in the early 1900s. He says that your belief in your belief will create the fact. So your belief in the belief will literally create the fact. So when you see other people, because you are a human and you have a logical mind, the left part of your brain, logically you think, okay? You reason with it. And you say, if he can do it, I can do it. But most important, if it's someone in your family, in your environment that did it and showed you how they did it, then you will do it. It's like you get people at the very top and they're telling you to do something, but you don't want to do it because you're comfortable. You're too busy looking at TV and they're telling you that there's a virus, to stay home. Meanwhile, your bank account is dwindling. What can you get into to make more money on your money? But you don't want to do the work because it requires your attention, and your attention is not on what you need to do. So you have to follow the steps, and you have to understand that you're going to hit a terror barrier. You're going to hit a brick wall. You're gonna jump out of the mountain or out of a plane, fight or flight, and you're gonna have fear. Now, fear and faith both require for you to believe in something that is not there. So my sister had faith in the 100,000, and literally within 2 years, I went to her office, beautiful office. She ended up paying it off. I seen all her employees, and she sent it to the subconscious mind through enthusiasm and through repetition. She started grabbing pictures, putting in her vision board. It's called a vision board. She started looking at her goal card, GOAL, goal card, a goal. She started looking at the card. She started thinking in pictures. William James, he says, mind is the master power that molds and makes. Mind. And evermore, he takes the tools of thought, shaping what he will with your eyes, with your mind, brings 1,000 joys or 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret. You're thinking in secret, and it comes to pass. Your environment is but your looking glass. Tell me, what do you see? Do you see poverty? Like Bob Proctor says, think about poverty. Think about lack and limitations. It'll be delivered right on schedule. Now, everyone thinks I'm crazy, right? I literally tell people, I told my son, you think that we're going to be driving cars in the next 30 years? No, son, you're going to be up there in the sky. You're going to be up there. You're not going to be down here anymore. Now, if you tell that to a person that's 55 years old, he's going to say, you're crazy. I'm going to keep driving my Ford, my, BMW. I'm going to keep driving my car, right? I'm not going to be in the sky. But if you YouTube flying drones and how being inside a drone that flies in Uber, which is like a taxi, how that would feel. There's a movie called The Fifth Element. And in the movie, The Fifth Element, Bruce Willis is a taxi driver in New York. And he was driving a yellow taxi in the sky. Now you see Star Wars, right? Now, there is an infinite possibility. Genevieve Behrend says, when you bring these unseen forces into harmony with your conception, what is your conception? Your thought. You can make practical working realities of possibilities, because there's realities and there's possibilities of those realities. Into harmony with your conception, you can make practical working realities that at present seem but fantastic dreams. So presently, it's a fantastic dream to create residual income and life-changing income for your family because you're building a business. You're going to have to take action. You're going to have to start to believe, okay? Emerson said, do the thing and you'll get the energy to do the thing. Do the thing and you'll get the energy to do the thing. There's 24 hours a day, 8 hours of work, 8 hours of free time, and 8 hours of sleep. How's your schedule? What do you do in the morning when you wake up? Are you talking to people? Are you prospecting? Are you having gratitude for the things you have? Are you writing it down? Do you have your goal precise? Earl Nightingale was trained by Napoleon Hill, and he says that the dirt is immoral. You can plant nightshade, a deadly poison, and not even a 16th of an inch away, you can plant corn as sweet food. It gives you what you plant. Are you planting thoughts of you being successful, of being a wealthy individual, about growing in what we call this planet, traveling, not having to worry about what's in front of you, the bill, $1,700, right? The restaurant bill, the savings account, the bank account, how much money's in front of you. And that's why he says here, Bob Proctor, he says that the one has to be emotionalized, to be taken over to the subconscious mind. What happened with my sister when I told her to write it down? And she actually did it. She actually did it. There's people that you're going to find in this business, when you give them a pen and you say, write down to me what you want, they're going to say, I'm not ready. I had a friend, his name was Danny Zamora. His son died at 20 years old. There's only two ways to change a paradigm: an emotional impact and constant spaced repetition of the information. Now, his son died a week before his 21st birthday. You would think that if I would give him a pen and I say, Danny Zamora, I want you to write down what is bothering you. Because see, it's positive and negative. We're dealing with polarities. The same way that you have a positive picture, you will have a negative picture of why you can't. But I can't doesn't exist. There's only I can and the will to do it. When Werner von Braun was asked, how do we send a spaceship and put a man in the moon by John Kennedy, when he asked Werner von Braun, a German scientist, how do we send the man to the moon? The will to do it, okay? It was like 5 words, the will to do it. The will to do it. The will, concentration. You can send a man to the moon. You could time the landing by a precision of a fraction of a second. That's what he said, because the laws are precise. Winter doesn't follow winter. When you see the moon go down, the sun's going to come up. The sun doesn't come up twice in one day, guys. Okay? God created the sun and the moon. Positive, negative, man, female. Up, down, in, out, open, close, right? Positive thought, positive emotion, creation. Negative thought, negative emotion, disintegration. Does that make sense, guys? And the more you understand that you are a creator and you can build beautiful pictures in your mind, the more your outside world is going to start to change. And your whole world will change. But you have to believe. Napoleon Hill says the state of mind must be belief, not mere hope or wish. He said there's a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing until they believe they can acquire it. Remember, no more effort is required to aim high in life, to demand prosperity and abundance, than there is to accept lack and limitation. Prosperity and abundance, lack and limitation. It's the opposite side of the picture. When you get this information, you understand that you're working with laws, and they're either easy or too difficult. How easy it is, but it's not easy when they're telling you on the radio station and on TV. So humanity is waking up and they're starting to fight back the people that are in control of the system, the dollar, the fiat currencies. And we're literally going into a new system. Vernon Howard says, you can't escape from a prison, not unless you know you're in one. The beautiful part about this prison is that you hold the key. You hold the key to your own prison. And you're setting the limitation and the standard, the bar, where you want to be. You want to be a millionaire, then become a millionaire. I was hearing a story of Sabrina. I am a billionaire. Good for her. Good for her. You know why? Because the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a penny and $1 billion. It doesn't know the difference between big or small. When you go put gas in your car and you're like, oh man, I only have 50 pounds. What am I going to do? I only have 10 pounds. When you're having issues, it's because something's trying to communicate with you. There's something trying to communicate with you, and it's trying to tell you that it wants something good for you. If that makes any sense, guys. And I literally have to take somebody out of the call because I want people to mute themselves. If not, I'm gonna have to take you out of the call. I'm gonna have to bounce you out. So it has to go into the subconscious mind. And there's a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. And a lot of people have recommended this book because it talks about your self-image. You see, I'm gonna put these notes away from Bob Proctor, but everything that's ever happened to you is affecting you. And you're only thinking about the negative program, the emotion in your subconscious mind. In order to rid yourself of the negative emotion, you have to do something drastically different. I remember paying $15,000 to go to a Matrix event, 6 days. And all they did was tell me to take off my shirt and my belt. And they said, now, 10 minutes later, put on your shirt or your blazer, but put it on differently. Leave it hanging here for a minute. Leave it hanging, right? Leave it hanging, right? Now, this position, this in the future might be something that a blazer that is half blazer, it might be worth 1,000 pounds, this thing. This might be worth some money. But in our world right now, in what we call physical reality, if you walk around with a half a blazer hanging, right, they're going to think you're crazy. But this might become a trend, guys. So we're dealing with infinite. We're dealing with different possibilities. And in order to tap into those possibilities, you have to do something different. Play a good song, read a good book, go to the gym, work out, eat the right food. Focus on you being happy, healthy, and wealthy, okay? And you have to see these things. You have to do something that scares you. Do the thing and you'll get the energy to do the thing. Ralph Waldo Emerson, do the thing and you'll get the energy to do the thing. In order to change your existing reality, you have to build a new model that makes the old model obsolete. Waldo Emerson. You know, and William James, he says that it's crazy the information that I learned, but you have to remember this information when you're doing a speech. A lot of people think, why are you always walking around listening to videos? I don't understand. Like, what do you do with your time? If you could understand the information that I have to remember, you'd understand why I do what I do. Because you have to bring your A game all the time because people do not believe. And if you've ever been in jail, if you ever been through a situation, that information would literally change you because you're going into a whole new world. I'm not even from the UK. I'm from Chicago. And I came here and you're driving on the right side. You have to learn everything all over again. You're telling me that sometimes in a corporate world, they might not even consider your degree. If you become an attorney in the UK and you try to go to the US, you might not get the job. They might not consider your degree valid. So you're telling me everything you built up can be literally taken away? Yeah, it can. And it's being taken away right now through your thoughts. So in order to change, you have to do something different. You have to walk backwards, as they say. Instead of walking forward, walk backwards, right? And sometimes you have to take 2 steps back to go 2 steps forward. And, you know, there's something really important about William James that I want you guys to understand. He was a professor from Harvard. And he says that your evaluation, what you're looking at, if you change it with your perception, you can change the way that the outcome is. So the outcome is what you think, which is totally backwards, right? You see what it is, but you look at it in another way. Perception, it's a higher faculty. You have higher faculties. You have your will, which is concentration, imagination, reasoning, perception, memory, and intuition. So you can reason with it. You have a perception. How do you see it? You have the imagination, create a beautiful picture in your mind. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. The only difference is what you see, what you believe. That's why he says your belief system, this is what William James says, okay? Your belief system is based upon your evaluation of something. And frequently, if you reevaluate a situation, your beliefs about that situation will change. Why? Because your belief system, write this stuff down. Your belief system is based upon your evaluation of something. That's who you are. Your belief system. But the moment that you change what you believe, who you are, how much you make, where you're born, what you're born to do, your belief, you go cuckoo, right? Totally illogical. You're crazy. You cannot change, Ross. You are Ross Garcia. But guess what? I'm not. I'm a spirit. And before we end the call, because I don't want to take too much of your time, I'm going to show you what this looks like. Now, remember, your belief system is based upon your evaluation of something. You are always evaluating, okay? You always evaluate the way that outcomes, the way that you see things, your evaluation. So you have sight, smell, taste, hear, and touch. And what you see is either positive or negative. And if it's negative, okay, try to lay it flat here. If it's negative, it creates a foreign vibration. We'll call it FV. Can you guys see this? Sabil, I don't know if you could talk, but foreign vibration creates doubt, fear, and anxiety. I'm not sure if I spelled that right. Okay. Anxiety. And this produces your actions, which produce your results. And your results will always be the same results, because it started off from the very top, from up here, all the way down to the foreign vibration. And then you doubt, fear, and anxiety kicked in. And your actions were negative. Excuse me. You got the same results. Now, Thurman Fleets was a doctor in the healing arts in 1934, San Antonio, Texas. And he drew out a picture of a stick person. And he says, we don't know what the mind looks like. So let's draw out a picture of the mind, because the mind is not the brain. The brain is something physical. The mind thinks, and it thinks in pictures. Now, they conducted studies and they said that after 30 years of research, they said that the mind is the force. So when you see Star Wars and you see the Jedi lift up the lightsaber and grab it and kind of like do like telekinesis where he jumps out of a building and he can't be stopped, like he could just has this like ability to talk to drones and make them change the way they think because he's communicating through the formless substance. Now, the formless substance is energy. It has no form. It's unadulterated energy. And your thought is looking at what you see with your lower faculties. These are good faculties to have because you're human. You want to enjoy pizza. You want to see. You want to enjoy life. But it depends how you see your lower faculties. If you see something that doesn't look right, flip the switch. Think of positive because you can use your perception to change it. So you have perception, you have a will, concentration, imagination, okay? So you want to look at your current results and not let it dictate the way you think, like in the book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, okay? He says to think what you want to think is laborious. So going back again, the energy is up here. That's the transmutation of energy. That's the first law. The last law is the seventh law of gender. So there is a time that this will take place. Now, you got to have a mentor and you have to have somebody that is constantly telling you that this information is true. Why? Because William James says that when you see something, what you're seeing is being evaluated. So you constantly are evaluating and judging. God says, thou shalt not judge, right? 99% of people are either thinking wrong about you or right? So all you have to do is just put, put a W over here. Just get rid of that, right? And bring that down and make that right? And get rid of that. I mean, what is right and wrong? I mean, if you're taught proper English, they're going to say right is right. But you can say right? It's the same thing. So look at the negative situation and make it positive. Just add this to it. That's all you got to do. Because you're going to see on TV, they're going to keep telling you this. Just add this to it and make it right. And have a plan. Take action. And know that the law of gender is on your side. That there is a season to sow and a season to reap. But you can't do both in the same season. That's what John Canary told Bob Proctor. He says, you can't do both in the same season, okay? You can't do both in the same season. So that's what I'm telling you guys. You can't do both in the same season, okay? Let me put my blazer on here. And if you guys have any questions, right now would be a perfect time to ask me. Now, remember, if there's one thing that I want you guys to get from this call, that's why I kept thinking about William James, because something was telling me, talk about William James, but I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure it out what it was. It is, and this is something Bob Proctor says. This is what he told me too. He told a lot of people this, but people don't catch this, okay? He says that your belief system is based upon your evaluation of something. And frequently, if you reevaluate is to look at it different. Your beliefs about it will change. Your beliefs about who you are and what you want to be, what you're going to become. And regardless of it doesn't matter if you were born on the wrong side of the tracks or if you were born to a wealthy family. Look at Thomas Edison. Everybody told him, you can't go to school. You're too dumb to participate. They told his mom, educate this kid at school. He's too dumb. We don't want him here. And guess what? His mom told him, you're very smart and they don't want you going to school because you're so smart. You're a genius. And guess what this guy did? He went crazy. He created the incandescent light bulb. And guess what? Now we're all using light. So we don't have to walk around with candles or with kerosene at night and burn down the house, right? So if you guys don't know who Thomas Edison is, find out, Google him. And you're going to come to find out, if you find out who he is and what he was about, he used to take cat naps because he wanted the ether to communicate with him. Just like ether communicated with me to tell you guys about William James, a professor from Harvard in the early 1900s. The father of psychology, hypnosis. If you want to go into a hypnosis, look at yourself in the mirror. This is what Bob Proctor told us in New York when I first seen him in New York in 2016. He says, go in front of a mirror. Tell yourself, Napoleon Hill, not only will I surpass Andrew Carnegie in life, but I'm going to meet him at the post and beat him at the Grand Slam. What does that mean? Andrew Carnegie made about 10 millionaires. Andrew Carnegie, the richest person in the world in the 1900s. He was in the manufacturing and steel business. He was worth about the equivalent today to somewhere like a Jeff Bezos. $300 million back in 1900 was a lot of freaking money. Now, he told Napoleon to look at himself. Napoleon Hill was a newspaper reporter, broke, never made any money, right? And he said, Napoleon, I want you to write about the laws of success to help the modern man, because he knew the secret. And when Andrew Carnegie died, they opened up his desk and they found 2 gold cards, not 1, but 2. Because a lot of people think that you don't have to pay the price, but there's never something for nothing. You have to pay the price. So behind your gold card, put what you're willing to give to what you want. So write down what you want, and behind the gold card, put what you're willing to give. I am so happy and grateful now that I'm making $100,000 a month in the I Am organization by December 31st, 2020. Now, if it doesn't happen by 2020, change the date, keep going for the goal. Put 2021 or June 2021. If it doesn't happen by the day, change the goal. Keep believing. Don't worry about your evaluation of something. Change the way you evaluate things. Go for the goal. And then you write down what you're willing to give. I will give my time to help people in my business. I will handle rejection well. I will let people tell me no. And I will believe in myself because I know that this is possible. Because like Earl Nightingale says, the subconscious mind, the dirt, it's immoral. It doesn't know the difference between a penny and $1 million or a penny and $100,000 residual income, or nightshade, a deadly poison, or corn, a sweet food. It gives you what you plant. So you guys have any questions for me, let me know, and I'll take questions. Let me know what else you guys want to share. And I hope you guys found this information helpful and useful to your business so you can become a better version of yourself. So I want to give it back to Sybil. I'm going to unmute her. There you go. And okay, we're back, guys.
Thank you, Ross. Thank you so much. I'm so happy and grateful we have Ross Garcia in our team. He's a Bob Proctor consultant. I'm so happy. You can share every day, Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. Mind-blowing information. Thank you so much, Rose. Can we have some fire emojis, please? And thank you guys for joining this webinar. Have an amazing and beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you so much, Rose. Thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow, guys, and thank you for your time. If you have questions, we'll answer questions tomorrow. Anything that you guys want to know about the creation process or maybe negative belief system, programs, we'll talk about it tomorrow. You guys enjoy your day. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.
Thank you.